Hey guys, it's Steve and Josh here again, and we're back with another video for the month. This month we wanted to talk a bit more about aesthetics because it's so important to stand out from other competitors is how your product and packaging looks and feels on the shelf or even online. So we'll get started with all the different types of aesthetic finishes you can put on your bottles and caps. Steve, you're going to take it away.
So let's start with colouring. So injection colouring, pre-pigmented materials or plastics, we can add colour to just about any plastic that there is. And that's how you get a white colour bottle, a purple, pink, red, green, whatever colour you want.
Yeah, sweet. And with that being said, we generally work with Pantone numbers with colouring. So not your CMYK or anything like that. We ask for specific Pantone colours, and then yeah, we'll be able to injection colour your packaging to that Pantone number. So next up is your printing. So you're not just restricted to labeling your packaging, we can also do what's called a silkscreen print. Primarily on bottles and jars, we can do silkscreen printing. On shoes, we can do a few other ones such as offset printing, as well as your hot stamping, which is your metallic foils. But essentially it is printing your logos or your text directly onto the packaging itself rather than applying a label. Next up, it's called sandblasting, okay? So when we work with PET material, naturally that's a gloss finish. We have some customers that want to work with PET, but because it's a gloss finish, they're after aesthetically a matte finish. So we'll blast the packaging with beads, which will give it this sandblasted, what we call this matte effect, pretty much turns a gloss bit of plastic into matte. So that's another type of finish you can do to PET packaging.
Yeah, a slightly lower cost alternative to get a matte look, and we have this in a lot of our packaging, it would be to apply a special pigment that will give it a matte pigment effect. So there's a couple of things. Obviously sandblasting has done the process that Josh did. This is a matte pigment, which is, we actually make it in the plastic to make it look that color. And I think that's it. There's a third one that we do and I don't think we've got a sample on that here, but for matte plastic, which is made in the mold. So that's a PET bottle where we call that a semi-gloss. We actually affect the surface of the mold, so then the product becomes matte that comes out of it.
Yeah, but anyway. Exactly right. And then obviously then HDPE is naturally matte or PET is naturally gloss. So that's a couple of things to think when you're deciding what packaging to go for. All right, next up, which we can do to polypropylene, which is PP and HDPE, is a soft touch finish. So soft touch is essentially, you might have seen it on some brands, it gives it kind of a nice velvety touch. Yeah, it's pretty self-explanatory really. So that's another option you can do with your HDPE or PP.
Yeah, it's a really nice texture, so especially for that textural feeling. Caps. We have gloss caps, obviously with a polypropylene is naturally comes out, most of the time will come out of the mold nice and gloss so it gets off the mold surface, or we have a matte finish in the mold. So similar to what I said before we can do on some PET jars, this will be a matte style cap. Pretty popular in both of these two alternatives for our supplements people and pharmaceuticals, whether they want a matte finish or a gloss finish.
Alrighty, so next up is if we're sticking with caps and you're after a metallic finish, there's two options you can do. First up is our electroplating. So essentially we spray a metallic finish onto the cap. This works great, especially if you need a cap that's a bit more durable, it doesn't dent easily, as well as if you want to put in an induction foil seal. I'd be going with electroplating. Alternatively, there is a metal sleeved option, but then you can't have your induction foil seal in the cap for metal sleeved. These can ding quite easily and have dents and stuff as well. So if I was to recommend the two, I'd stick with electroplating. You got a bit more options in terms of types of finishes with your electroplating as well. All right, still in the cap scenario. It kind of depends what type of closure it is exactly, but again, you can either have your smooth wool, which is the caps we were showing before, or there's a ribbed option. Ribbed's generally more for your food and pharmaceutical tablet bottles and stuff. Easy to grip is when you'll generally see your ribbed. If you're sticking with cosmetics, primarily you're going to see more of your smooth wool finishes.
Fantastic. Right, so last one we're going to show you today, because we've covered a lot in this video, is where we've done it effectively. So this is not a wooden cap, this is a transfer finish cap. So what we've done is we basically dip this into a transfer finish that gives it an appearance of a wood cap. So therefore still plastic, no wood issues for customs and clearances. However, it does get that effect. And you can do a range of patterning on this. You don't have to do this. You could be branding, could be all kinds of different things. We do need to set some tooling up for this, but it does give a great effect.
Yeah, and that's pretty much wrap things up. In terms of tooling, you also have options there for embossing and debossing if you need that type of stuff on your plastic packaging. But there's so many different things you can do. So if you've got something in mind, if you've got concepts, pick up that phone, shoot us through an email. We'll be able to work with you to sort out the best possible scenario for your packaging and make sure that you stand out from the crowd.
Perfect, exactly what I would say.
Alrighty guys, that's it for this video. Like we always say, give us a call and we'll see you in the next one.
See you soon, bye.